Okay, so I want to just have time for a couple of the questions that.
Please let him finish what he's saying.
Yeah.
So I think that Netanyahu uses the Holocaust as a scapegoat to a lot of things that he and a lot of the politicians in Israel are using the concept of the Holocaust in order to excuse avoiding moving forward and doing some things. When they say we will not go back to the Auschwitz line, when they refer to the 67 line, basically what they're saying we will not go back to being like the Holocaust, and I think that this is wrong, very, very wrong. And the problem is, we also the Jews in the state. This is something that I said all the time when I was all around America. Something strange happened to the Jewish people around the world after the Second World War and the establishment of the State of Israel. The strange thing that happened to them is that they felt that they have to support Israel no matter what. Because Israel kind of personifies the safe haven that will be there for them whenever there will come the next Haman that will prosecute them or the next Hitler. They have that kind of idea of safe haven in Israel. And wherever they are, they can go there and be safe. And that moved them to do something which is wrong in my point of view, support Israel no matter what. And I think that you should support Israel. If you are right, support whenever Bibi Netanyahu doing what he does. But you cannot support Israel if you are a leftist. You cannot say that the policy of Israel, you can, dispute with the policy of the government of Israel and say what you think. This is how you can help shaping the Israel that you want to have one day if they will prosecute you wherever you are.
And I think this connects directly to one of the questions that somebody turned in, which I'm sure you asked all the time, which might be what we call a softball for you. But what do you say to the right in Israel and the U.S. who say that your film is anti-Israel? And I think in some ways you just addressed this, and also you started when I said, why did you make this film? You said, because I'm an Israeli and I have children.
To anybody that says that this is an anti-Israeli film, I say this is the most pro-Israeli film I have ever done, and I think this is exactly what I meant before that. The fact that you dispute with the policy of Israel, the fact that you look in the mirror and say, the policy of Israel maintaining the occupation is bringing our young children to the state, as the head of Shin Bet have said here, not me. And the fact that 6 people that have spent their life defending the state of Israel are saying that the 6 people that you have seen have spent their life defending the state of Israel. And they're saying that. I don't think how can you dispute that with that it's anti-Israeli. It's anti the policy of the current Israeli government, definitely.
Somebody asked the question, do you believe that there really is a credible partner on the Palestinian side? And this is something we hear a lot of in the American Jewish community. If so, who is it?
Look, I think that definitely there is a partner in the other side. Yasser Arafat was a horrible partner, but the partner now, Abu Mazen, and never ever before in the history of the conflict, the things that we hear from the Palestinian partner, that is now what he says, never ever we heard something like that. Will it be easy? No, it won't be easy. Will it be a rose garden? No, it will not be a rose garden. Will the terrorist attack? Definitely Israelis and Palestinian alike terrorists will attack. Either the only option, definitely it's the only option, and we have to move forward whatever we can with the partner that we have now. And I would ask this guy that had said, are we a partner? Are the Israelis that proved themselves as a partner? I'm not sure that they are as well.
So, Dror, I felt, and I suspect I'm not alone in the room in feeling this way, this sort of sense of impending doom as the film went on, and then toward the end, Shalom says, the future is bleak. And it felt bleak. I mean, it felt like it kept getting worse and worse. In the beginning, you really see the growth and development of the Palestinian terror infrastructure, and then you see the destruction of Israeli society and this divisiveness that leads to Jew killing Jew, and then back to violence with the Palestinians. And it seems like there's, no way out of this mess. And I'm always looking for the shred of hope.
Why?
I will say I actually was interviewed by Mariv. They did a piece a couple months ago, and we interviewed in English and then they translated into Hebrew, and he showed me a piece of it before it was published, and it said the word optimisti like 16 times, and I said, don't you have any synonyms for optimisti in Hebrew? Do you have to, I mean, I know I didn't say optimistic that many times, and he said, no, we don't have any synonyms for optimistic. So, okay, I mean, you know, but it does, looking for the shred of hope, I want to ask a question. And
you didn't answer, why?
Why?
Yeah.
because I love Israel.
Why?
Probably for many of the same reasons that you do.
But you live here, you live in Los Angeles. I don't understand why the Jewish people are so concerned about the future of this. Why are you here? Let me ask you a question. Why are you here? You don't. Most of you are living here. Most of the Jews living around the world never seen Israel or maybe visited Israel once. Why do you care so much?
It's done in our name.
What do you mean?
I think a lot of American Jews and Jews in the diaspora feel that if Israel is a state for the Jews and of the Jews, for right or for wrong, I'm not saying I agree with this, but that means us.
Because you are a Jewish people. Do you think that the Italians, the American Italians, are caring about Italy like you care about Israel? Not even close or remotely close. And I think that you have to ask yourself why, not that I'm saying that you shouldn't, but I think that you should ask yourself why are the American Jews are so concerned about Israel? And if they are so concerned, I think that it compels you to act. You cannot sit, you know, this is what I'm saying to all my friends the Israelis, you cannot sit, excuse the language, sit on your ass, moan when you see those kind of newsreels on the television and say, oh, it's so horrible. And then go on doing your day-to-day whatever you do. You have to act. You have to express yourself. You have to support J Street, for example, who is an organization whose goal is to stop that. Sorry.
No, please don't. That's what. It's a good plug. Look, I'll tell you why I love Israel, because I believe that this state holds within it the power to fulfill the greatest aspirations of the Jewish people.
No, don't come to me now. We are the chosen people, and we are the light to the
it's
goyim.
this isn't about chosenness. This is about realizing the prophetic vision of a community and a society and a culture of justice and compassion and peace. And I believe that that's possible still. And that's why, for me, it's so utterly essential to fight for the Israel that we believe in.
Okay, I will speak to you later about
Yeah, we'll talk
that.
about it. But this is my last question, so we should. Oh, what?
Aren't there questions?
There are some. I was going to actually try to close. Is that yes? Am I getting the nod? Okay.
Do we have
What?
to close?
I just need to say one.
So.
Do we have to close?
To
Yes,
finish.
there's another movie.
Ah, there's another
There's
movie.
another movie.
Okay.
So what I was going to say was I watched this film feeling this sense of it's very bleak, and it feels like we're left without hope, and you can challenge my naive American Jewish need to find hope in every narrative. But what struck me as a really interesting, perhaps it's the key to this, is one of the, I can't remember who it was, but one of them says, you know, he actually went into the shtachim, into the territories at some point, and starts to look around and talk to people. And when he does, he starts to understand what it is that they want and what they're fighting for. And none of the prime ministers spent any time with Palestinians. None of them, he said, had any interest in meeting with Palestinians. One of the people here asked, you know, how can American Jews meet Palestinians and actually have human interactions with them? And it strikes me that one of the responses to seeing this, and I mean, just it seems like we're just going to continue in this endless cycle of hatred and violence. Until we actually try to understand one another's aspirations. And this is something that happens at the cooler in a conference in London, but doesn't too often happen in other contexts, particularly in Israel and Palestine. And so I think it would be what would be helpful for me and for us, and maybe we could close on this note, is for you to reflect a little bit as an artist, as a filmmaker, on some of the human interactions that have come out of this film. With Palestinian artists, Palestinian filmmakers, people who've responded to this film in a way that gives you a sense of hope.
You want a brighter future.
I do.
Also, the gatekeepers, by the way, they always ask me, why are you so bleak? Don't be bleak so much. I said, speaking to you made me bleak. And And they always said, you know, there is hope. Don't give up hope, and the hope is within the leaders. And so I said, when you look at the horizon of the Israeli leadership, do you see any signs to being optimistic? So they said no, but never lose hope. So you want me to give you a rosy finish? Look, by the way, when I was in the J Street convention in Washington, I said to Jeremy that I came a bit cynical, and the American optimism kind of swept me. All of a sudden, I felt that it is possible. And this is something very nice in America, that everything is possible. You feel when you are in America, everything is possible. You want to make, I mean, yesterday I watched Gravity, the movie. You want to make out of spaceship, you know, inside the camera, inside the spaceship. The Americans can do everything they want. And there is something to that which is very, very nice. But I have to tell you that 20 years of involvement, American involvement in the peace process in Israel, did not really prove to be prudent to bring peace. And this is something that I said to Dennis Ross, who was the negotiator, to George Mitchell, and to Madeleine Albright, that I am afraid now that the peace negotiation have resumed. I'm afraid from the moment that it will fail, and this is what I think will happen at the end, because I don't see in those two people, especially in the Israeli side, someone who can reach that kind of intensity of decision to evacuate, let's say, 5 houses. You know, I don't want to tell you stories of what he did in order to evacuate 5 houses in a settlement which were built over Israeli-Palestinian or Palestinian private land, what the Prime Minister of Israel have done in order to evacuate those 5 houses. So to evacuate Hebron and to evacuate Bet El and to evacuate all those major settlements. But I will now be more optimistic for you. You see, there is a sign from God that tells us, don't be optimistic. There is no optimism here. So at that moment, I will conclude with that. We cannot fight God, you know, the voice of God is there. Thank you. I must say that I met some amazing Palestinian, I had some amazing Palestinian encounters due to the film, and sat down with Palestinians, which I never did. Some of them for the first time, 3-4 hours, and we spoke. We spoke from the heart, and at the end they hugged me. And they said that the fact that they saw 6 heads of shitbet speaking.
Why are you doing this? It doesn't matter. It's a game.
Finish your sentence,
Yeah,
please.
please finish your sentence.
So the fact that they saw 6 heads of shitbet speaking in that way, and in a way remorse,ing or saying what they said at the end, was for them something which was unprecedented. And they felt, and bear in mind that the Shibet is the most hated organization in the Palestinian. Thank you very much for being here.
Everybody, as you go out, please do fill out the letters that were left on your chairs. Dror was talking about we must act, we must act. This letter to your local member of Congress in support of a resolution that J Street is lobbying in favor of supports the U.S. effort right now towards restarting peace talks and towards a 2-state solution. John Kerry called on all of us to be the constituency for peace, and this is answering his call. Please do take a moment to fill it out. This is one way that all of us can work towards supporting the President's efforts and hopefully reaching a 2-state solution. Thank you so much.
There is silence when he speaks, so you should do that.